Trump administration has cut 20,000 jobs in federal health agencies. President Trump announced new 25% tariffs on all foreign vehicles and auto parts, and the president doubles down on his plan to gain control of Greenland. All that and more coming tonight.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly, and you can too. Share your heart, share your love. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
Welcome to the National Rundown. I'm Matthew White. The Trump administration is cutting 20,000 jobs. That's a 25% decrease. The Humane Health Service Agency, which is in charge of overseeing insurance programs, including Medicaid, Medicare, and Medicaid, will see divisions reduced from 28 to 15. HHS Security, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stated in the press release this department will do more, a lot more, at a lower cost to the taxpayer. Democratic Senator Angela Also Brooks of Maryland stated that the cutting of 20,000 jobs is dangerous and deadly. Changes will go into effect within the coming months. On Wednesday, President Trump announced that he will place a 25% tariff on vehicles and auto parts entering the United States. The auto tariffs will be going into effect on April 2nd, with collecting of the fees happening on the following day. The president believes that these tariffs will bring $600 billion to $1 trillion in revenue to the United States. However, this number will reduce to $100 billion in the statement provided by the White House Secretary Will Sheriff. Within shares of U.S. automakers tanking after the latest tariff announcement, economists are unsure how beneficial these changes will be for the economy. Perhaps check out your ancestry, and if you use 23andMe, this story is for you. The company is filing for bankruptcy, and people are also asking what is going to happen to my data. Nancy Chen has the details.
You always wonder, who does make you who you are?
We've all seen the commercials. Since 23andMe was founded nearly 20 years ago, 15 million people have mailed their saliva and about $100 to the biotech company. In return, they've gotten back their genetic heritage, health reports, and surprise connections with long-lost family. Now in bankruptcy, the company will likely be sold.
I mean, I do think this is a privacy nightmare.
Jenny Foz with Consumer Reports says customers' genetic information could be part of a corporate sale.
In this data, there could be clues about diseases that you have or diseases you may be predisposed to. And what that means as far as how it impacts your life and your pocketbook is that you could end up getting charged more for insurance coverage, or in some cases, you could even be flat out denied coverage based on your genetics.
Simply because of your DNA.
It's hard to know who will gain access to this data.
Once worth $6 billion, the company has lost 98% of its value.
Headlines say you're fighting for survival.
Gail King interviewed co-founder Ann Wojcicki last November.
We're doing all kinds of things for the first time. So we will make mistakes, 100% admit all of that, but we will always, my commitment to the world has always been, I will always learn from my mistakes.
Those mistakes cost her her job. 23andMe assures customers it will delete their genetic material if they ask, saying in a statement, data privacy will be an important consideration in any potential transaction.
What should people know moving forward?
People should know that genetic information is highly sensitive, that any institution that has your genetic information could have a different future than what you're imagining right now.
Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
The Trump administration is managing a fresh round of fallout over internal national security deliberations about the U.S. strikes in Yemen. This comes after the Atlantic publisher a fuller transcript of a Signal Group chat that included one of the journalists. Wednesday, the White House doubled down on its instances that the information shared was not classified and accused the magazine of overplaying it. It claims that the administration had revealed war plans. The Atlantic published the additional messages after the administration repeated that the information was not classified. After the break, House Republicans held a hearing to scrutinize both PBS and NPR last night. Stay tuned for details.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
All the way to the top. Yeah, sorry, we have technical difficulties. During a congressional hearing on the topic of funding public media organizations, NPR and PBS were under fire for displaying popular drag queen Lil Miss Hot Mess during children's programming. PBS Chief Executive Paula Krager and NPR Chief Executive Catherine Maher over perceived liberal bias in their programming. These two media titles have been frequent targets in Republican efforts to reduce $500 million in funding to public media organizations. PBS and NPR executives were put on blast for anti-Trump comments published in 2021. PBS and NPR defended these comments, claiming that the comments are lawful, protected under the First Amendment. Stars aligned for a dazzling night spectacular at the Philadelphia Astros Lumina Night Walk. Here's Daniel with more.
How you doing?
Hey, Dan. So what is the Astra Lumina?
So the Astra Lumina is a light show. It can be seen over in Philadelphia or Jenkintown, PA area. And so it's a light show. It has 9 different cosmic installations. Like it has 9 different stations that you can go to. And it's about a mile walk, so it's not really too far. So it's not very much of a, it's just more of a nature experience. And it has various projections and a lot of pixels of light that you can go see and kind of just be amazed by.
So can you tell us where this will be located at?
So as mentioned earlier, it's in Jenkintown, PA, which is about 10, 14-ish miles from Philadelphia, about an hour drive from Rowan. And from here, it's just a nice little drive over the bridge.
So when can you visit the grounds?
So you can visit the grounds this weekend. It's only open Friday to Sunday, and this is the last weekend that people can go see this specific light show. So if you wanted to, make sure you get your tickets and head over to this event.
Where can you find these tickets at?
So you can find these tickets at astralumina.com, and tickets this weekend are 20% off for their final show, and they're going to be around $25. So if students or if anybody else wanted to go check it out, now's the weekend to definitely do that.
All right, thank you so much, Dan.
No problem.
A submarine sinks off the Egyptian coast. Russia violates the ceasefire agreement, and a rescue mission for U.S. soldiers turns into a recovery effort. Here's Michael with the World News Minute.
At least 6 people are dead after a recreational submarine carrying 45 tourists on a reef tour in the Red Sea sank off the Egyptian resort town of Hurghada earlier today. While more than 24 were left injured, the remaining tourists were able to be rescued. The search and rescue mission for 4 U.S. Army soldiers who have gone missing during a scheduled training exercise near Pembanda, Lithuania, has turned into a recovery mission. This comes after the MM-8 Hercules armored recovery vehicle was found submerged in water at the training camp on Wednesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of violating the partial ceasefire agreement earlier today after an energy facility in the southern Ukrainian city of Kherson was damaged. During a press conference, Zelensky called on the United States to react to the alleged breach of the agreement and stated that civilians lost power as a result. That's all for the World News Minute. Back to you at the desk, Matthew.
A detained Tufts University doctoral student is transferred to the Louisiana Immigration Detention Center despite court orders. ICE was ordered to keep her in Massachusetts by Boston courts, but was moved before they were issued. The student, Rosameh Ozturk, was arrested outside her home on Tuesday by ICE officials. Ozturk was targeted by the Trump administration and ICE because of the pro-Palestine OPED article she co-wrote in the Turfs Daily. Her friends claim that other than the OPED, she was completely uninvolved in the movement. From the upcoming Mariah Carey biopic to the Selena Gomez love life, we have details. Here is Essence with the details.
Actress Madison Pettis is set to portray Mariah Carey in the upcoming biopic. The former Disney star, known for the game plan, says she's honored to take on the role of the iconic diva. The film will explore Carey's journey from her early struggles to becoming one of the best-selling artists of all time. While no release date has been announced, fans are already buzzing about the chance to see Carey's legendary story brought to the big screen. Meanwhile, A Bit Elementary has left viewers on edge after a major twist in last night's episode. Ava Coleman, the school's unpredictable and meme-loving principal, played by Janelle James, might be on her way out. In season 1, Ava narrowly avoided getting fired, but this time, things aren't looking as promising. James recently told The Hollywood Reporter that big changes are coming for the show, leaving fans wondering if this could really be the end of Ava. And finally, Selena Gomez has sparked romance rumors after being spotted with the music producer Benny Blanco. The sighting quickly set social media abuzz, with fans speculating about whether this is a new relationship or just a friendship. Gomez, who's been open about prioritizing her mental health and personal growth, has kept her love life fairly private lately, making things possible pairing all more intriguing. So far, neither Gomez nor Blanco has confirmed anything, but fans are definitely keeping an eye on them.
And now, our own Micaiah sits down with the student who shares what it takes to balance school and a very active ice hockey life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm here today with Gia Caruso. She graduated in 2023 from Rowan University and is currently a grad student in the Law and Justice program. So, Gia, after taking a year off, what made you decide to come back to Rowan for post-grad?
I love Rowan. I loved all it had to offer me. It was truly like the best 4 years of my life. So what better way than to just come back and get my master's degree?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And so you are a very unique individual here. You are in post-grad in the Law and Justice program, like I said, but you are also the captain of Rowan Women's Ice Hockey, and you also have a full-time job at the Link. So how do you manage all of your time here?
It is pretty hard to manage your time when you're doing all three. Fortunately, I have a great job and I have a really great support system around me. So my managers, my coaches, they've really helped me with the time management aspect, but also just like putting your time and prioritizing everything in the right way and just picking and choosing what is more important to me has really helped. So I've been able to make everything so far. So.
That's true. You're doing well so far. So how does it feel to return to ice hockey, especially now that you were a captain this previous season? How does it feel to take a step and then come back in a leadership position?
I felt really great. Well, in the beginning, not so much, because when you step back on the ice after a year, it's kind of awful. But it's just really nice to come back and have a leadership position and be able to just resume what I loved to do after taking a year off and just realizing that I was sad without hockey and I couldn't waste the other years that I had. So coming back was truly something that I'm really thankful for, and it really helped me in the long run. And to lead girls that are younger than me too has been truly a blessing for me.
And what a great season you guys had this season. You were an absolute powerhouse. Oh, thank you. We had a great season together. You were an absolute powerhouse on the team. You had 8 goals, 8 assists. Like, you couldn't be stopped out there. How would you describe your playing style?
I definitely can be stopped by the penalty box. My playing style is, I would say, an offensive defenseman. I love to skate the puck in. I love to take shots on net, even though they don't hit the net all the time. But honestly, I like scoring goals when I get that opportunity. So, yeah, pretty much offensive defenseman.
Right. And speaking of the penalty box, I have a very important question for you. How does it feel to be ranked 4th in the entire country in penalty minutes?
4 is crazy. Don't know how many minutes that is.
43, wherever that camera is. 43 minutes.
All I have to say is sorry. Yeah, I have really no words for that. No comment. I don't know.
No comment.
That's just awful.
No, absolutely not. With the season we had, I think it's absolutely incredible.
It's valid.
It's valid. Completely valid. So thank you so much for being with us today. Back to you at the desk.
Trump has some plans for Greenland. What are they? We'll find out after the break.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
How far is too far? President Donald Trump said the U.S. will go as far as we have to get to the control of Greenland. Ahead of the planned visit to the... sorry for the technical difficulties. How far is too far? President Donald Trump said the U.S. will go as far as we have to get control of Greenland, ahead of the planned visit, the Arctic island by J.D. Vance. That has prompted criticism from Greenland and Denmark. Trump showed no indications of softening his ambition to take control of the island, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. We need Greenland for the national security and international security, Trump said, while taking reporters' questions in the Oval Office. Greenland's Prime Minister, Mute Agadi, dismissed Trump's remarks. Greenland belongs to the Greenlanders, he wrote on social media. We are not Americans and we are not Danes because we are Greenlanders. This is what America and their leaders need to understand. We cannot be bought and we cannot be ignored. The head of the Federal Aviation Administration has told Congress earlier today about the mid-air collision over Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people. The FAA is now acknowledging that it must do better in order to ensure flying safety. The agency's artificial intelligence-led review aimed at identifying safety threats at other airports with similar helicopter-airplane collisions should be finished in a couple of weeks, said Chris Rosenthal, the agency's acting administration. The Department of Justice has announced they have arrested the alleged MS-13 gang East Coast leader. A 24-year-old El Salvador man was arrested in Virginia as part of the Trump administration plan to eliminate gang violence across the country. DOJ claims the man was living in the country illegally and was charged with illegal gun possession due to several firearms found in his home following the arrest. MLB opening day is coming up, and the Flyers have fired their coach. Here's Nick with the sports.
Thanks, Matthew. This morning, Flyers general manager Daniel Briere announced that head coach John Tortorella has been relieved of his duties with 9 games remaining this season. Briere stated that Tortorella played a vital role in the Flyers' ongoing rebuild, but that he felt it was best for the team to move forward without him behind the bench. Tortorella coached the Flyers for just under 3 seasons. Last year, he nearly led Philadelphia to the playoffs as they were firmly in the race with just a couple weeks to go in the season, but they completely collapsed down the stretch and missed out on playoff hockey. Those struggles have continued into this season as the Flyers are just 28, 36, and 9, good for the 5th least points in the NHL. Tortorella put the nail in the coffin for his tenure in Philly after the team's 7-2 loss to Toronto on Tuesday, stating he wasn't interested in learning how to coach this type of season. Associate coach Brad Shaw will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of 2025. March Madness continues tonight as Alabama takes on BYU, Florida battles Maryland, Duke and Arizona face off, and 10-seed Arkansas looks to continue their Cinderella run against Texas Tech. The emphasis on the 10 seed is important because Arkansas is one of the few lower-seeded teams to make it this far, as most of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds have advanced to the Sweet 16. There's been mixed reviews for this year's tournament so far, as some are disappointed with the lack of upsets, but others are optimistic, claiming the late stages of the tournament are setting up to be one of the best ever. The 2025 MLB season gets underway today, as every team is in action. Some marquee matchups include the Brewers heading to Yankee Stadium, the Braves taking on the Padres in San Diego, and the Red Sox facing off against the Rangers in the Lone Star State. The Dodgers are the overwhelming favorites to hoist the World Series trophy heading into the season, but some other contenders include the Braves, Yankees, Phillies, and Mets. Now, back to the desk.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at the upcoming weather.
Got a quarter?
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, let's head over to the weather to take a look at what will the weekend look like.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I have your 5-day forecast for the upcoming week. Today, though, we had a high of 54 and a low of 37 with some cloudy skies. And then on Friday, which is tomorrow, we'll have a high of 59, a low of 41, cloudy in the morning, but we'll start to see some sunshine in the afternoon. On Saturday, we have a high of 61, a low of 53, again cloudy. On Sunday, you should brace for some rain, light rain though, with some wind. The high is 69 and the low is 51. Get those umbrellas and those rain jackets ready. On Monday, we have a high of 56 and a low of 35 with some light showers in the morning. And on Tuesday, we have a high of 61 and a low of 40. We round that off with some sunshine just in time for the rest of our spring break. And that is all for the weather. Now for our weather window.
That's a wrap on tonight's newscast. I'm Matthew White. Have a great night and a great weekend.